What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So last week we sold my $13,000 stock portfolio, which had 33 stocks / ETFs. So I took a few days to kind of evaluate what I wanted to do next, and I've kind of come up with the conclusion that I want to invest in 5 different investment vehicles. So in today's video we're going to go through these 5 vehicles and kind of give a brief update in terms of goals and objectives for these investing plans going forward. So if this interests you, be sure to stick around and let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's give a very brief recap on why I sold that $13,000 portfolio. Now I'll link the video in the description below if you want to go through that in detail. But again, in synopsis, we sold that portfolio for about 24 or 5% profit, which I'm very happy with, or €2,043, which equates to about $2,400. Now, there was kind of 3 main reasons why I sold this portfolio, which I stated in the video in the description below. But again, in synopsis, kind of one of the main reasons was that I wanted to lock in profits because some of my positions were up over 100%, such as Alphabet Class A and Goldman Sachs come to mind as well. So I did want to start taking some of those profits. The second reason that I believe I wanted to sell was because I believe there's a stock market bubble, which again, a lot of people do believe this, and it could crash and inevitably will crash down the line. So I did want to start locking in some of those profits. But the third and most important reason why I sold that portfolio was because we are planning on buying our own family home, which again I wanted to have as much capital as possible here at my disposal so we could limit the overall mortgage, which down the line will limit the overall repayments and keep us even more money. So, and the other reason as well, when we're talking about real estate, was that we're planning on getting a property or apartment as well, an investment apartment down the line. So I wanted to have some capital there as well to pump in there. But again, we'll go through now. After the last few days, we've kind of had a few days to recoup and kind of plan out my next course of action. And that is in the form of 5 different investment vehicles, which we kind of touch on next. So one point to note as well before going into these 5 investment vehicles is that we'll be pumping a lot of capital into these over the coming years. That's why I wanted to have a complete reset in terms of laying out 5 separate investment vehicles that will be completely separate to one another, and I will be pumping large amounts of capital here over the coming years, i.e. a lot more than the 13,000 that we had to play over the last year, as it was kind of just a beginner at that stage. So I do want to start upping the game here as such. And the first investment vehicle will be, no surprise, in the form of stocks. Now obviously we had 33 stocks / ETFs in my last portfolio, but I do want to do things a bit differently now that I know a little bit more. So again, I want to keep stocks, so growth and dividend stocks, completely separately in 2 different brokers. We're going to be using Trading 212 going forward for all my growth stocks, and probably DeGiro for my dividend stocks. So again, I want to have about 10 growth stocks or 10 main growth stocks on Trading 212 and about 10 to 15 blue chip dividend stocks on DeGiro. So that's kind of my first plan of action here, and we're going to kind of slowly drip feed in, just like we did in my last portfolio, as I found that was quite successful. So we're going to drip feed in to mainly dollar cost average. So we'll start off with a small position once we find out what stocks or dividend and growth stocks I want to invest in, and we'll slowly drip feed capital in when the markets are down and kind of ride them when they're up. So again, that's my first course of action here, and a target that I'm really looking forward to hitting. And so that'll be my first investment vehicle, which kind of brings us on to the second one. So this second investment vehicle will be in the form of ETFs. Now in my prior portfolio we had 3 ETFs. We had the S&P 500, the FTSE 100, and we also had the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. Now going forward, we're going to solely focus on the Vanguard S&P 500, which tracks the top 500 companies within the US. So again, I will be keeping this completely separate, just like I have with my dividend and growth stocks. And we're going to probably, and again I haven't looked into this in detail yet, but more than likely we're going to set up a Vanguard account here. Now again, there is deposit or limits here in the terms of accounts. You have to have X amount invested before you can even open one of these accounts, because they're a lot more kind of high tech and kind of a lot more professional in the likes of these discount brokers such as Trading 212 or DeGiro. So again, if you have any information, you could comment below. It'd be really appreciative if you have any of these investment vehicles yourself. But again, I will be planning on investing solely in the S&P 500 as my main ETF vehicle going forward. So that's kind of the first 2 investment vehicles, again both in stocks and ETFs, which I'm familiar with. So obviously investment vehicle 1 was the stocks, dividends or growth, and investment vehicle 2 will be ETF in the form of the Vanguard S&P 500. Now, the next three investment vehicles are kind of unknown waters for me because we have stuck with stocks and ETFs the whole way as of now. But again, I do want to start venturing out and branching out my investment vehicles, mainly because my capital will be increasing drastically. So I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, and I do want to spread out the risk. So the third investment vehicle, which I'm really looking forward to get into, and we have made a few videos which I'll link in the description below as well, is on crypto. Now, again, I will be mainly investing in Bitcoin here. And again, I was being told that it's probably the worst time to invest because the markets are up at the moment. So again, I'll probably just invest a tiny amount to start and drip feed in again when the likes of Bitcoin, etc. start to drop a little and dollar cost average in. Now, I have looked over a few brokers here, and it was suggested by one of my friends that I should use Coinbase. So I have looked into this, and I will make a video on this down the line as well about opening the account and my own kind of review of Coinbase going forward. So I will be using Coinbase as my broker of choice for cryptocurrency. Now, I will be investing in probably the 2 or 3 main cryptos. Obviously, I'll start off with Bitcoin as that's the most kind of reliable as such in terms of kind of, it's not one of these kind of get rich quick scheme coins. So I will be starting off with Bitcoin, and I will kind of branch out into 2 or 3 other well-known coins as well, which I haven't decided yet. But probably 80% of my crypto investment will be in Bitcoin, and I'll kind of sprinkle out the other 20% into the second or third most popular coins at this moment in time. But again, I'm kind of self-admitting here that I know absolutely zero about crypto at the moment. So I am kind of in the process of learning the ropes. And once I do, I'll start putting capital in slowly. I won't be diving in head first. I will be kind of really slowly putting in capital, probably €100 here and there, just to kick it off and see how it goes. But again, I'm really looking forward to investing in crypto because since investing about 18 months ago at this stage, I have never actually invested in crypto. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that has in store. The fourth investment vehicle will be in real estate. Now, this has 2 different branches here. Firstly, it'll be my own family home, which probably isn't an investment as such, although it is an asset. So I will kind of keep it in that bracket. And the second of all, which I'm really looking forward to as well, again, unknown waters, will be an investment apartment that we have in the pipelines. So again, there'll be a lot more on that once we know a bit more. But again, this certainly, from my own experience over the last 18 months, is the hardest, and it's probably no surprise that it's the hardest to actually get into, and it's really high barriers of entry. For example, like even getting a mortgage in Ireland, if you are from Ireland, you'd know yourself that it's ridiculous, and the house prices at the moment are extremely overvalued, so there's very high barriers to entry. But again, I'm really excited for this. And again, I'll actually make a lot of videos down the line because there isn't a lot of information online about the likes of mortgages, how to apply things, kind of things that I've learned myself that I'd have done differently. And also we'll kind of give a house tour when we actually get it, and that's looking forward to that as well. In the coming months, we'll do a house tour and kind of go through all the budgeting side of things here as well. And even with the real estate in terms of the apartment as well, I'll be very interested to make videos on this in terms of cost basis, marketing, etc., and how much you'd actually make from the likes of an investment apartment. So I'm really looking forward to all of that. Now, again, it's kind of still in the pipeline, all of this, but it certainly has the highest barrier to entry, as I stated, and certainly would be the kind of probably the biggest investment I've ever made, or ever do make, should I say. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, again, there's a lot of implications involved here, so I am hoping to make kind of a playlist or a video series here as well on all the kind of steps from absolutely nothing, not having a euro saved, all the way to getting mortgage approved and to looking for your house, and all the fees and implications involved with buying your very own apartment or house. Now, the fifth investment vehicle is a bit different, and it's kind of split into 2. And the first part of this, you kind of be surprised in terms of it being YouTube. Now, at the moment, we have about 1.55k subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. But I do want to start pushing on my videos and improving the quality down the line, which will kind of overall get a bigger subscriber base. Now, you know I'm fully transparent in everything I discuss on this channel. I don't really hide anything away, so that is kind of the first step here. I do want to start increasing my YouTube kind of subscriber count and view count as well, so I'm looking forward to working on that. And the second part of this as well is a brick and mortar style investment, which I can't really discuss yet because it is on hold, mainly due to the fact that we're currently in the process of buying our own house. So as you can imagine, the vast majority of my capital is being tied up there at the moment, which again, it's no surprise, it's one of life's main events, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. But once we do finally put pen to paper on the house, I will be straight away focusing on this kind of brick and mortar style business. And again, YouTube, we've been tipping away at this over the last 12 to 18 months. So I'm quite happy with the progress here, although I do want to start upping it a bit, again, in terms of quality and consistency. So I'm looking forward to working on that. and definitely the other brick and mortar style business I'll be able to discuss a bit more once I know a bit more myself, because mainly it has been kind of put at a full stop over the last probably 2 to 3 months, mainly because I'm focusing on buying our own property. So in summary, I just wanted to go through today the 5 main investment vehicles I want to focus on down the line in terms of my investing goals and objectives. Those being stocks. So split into stocks will be dividend and growth stocks. We then had the ETFs vehicle, which I'll be focusing on the Vanguard S&P 500 solely here. We then had crypto. We discussed very briefly that I wanted to kind of invest in the 3 main coins here, again slowly drip feeding in. The fourth of these will be real estate, and the fifth again is a split one in the form of YouTube and another brick and mortar style business down the line as well. So I just kind of wanted to give a very brief overall update and kind of let you guys know my plan of action going forward. Now obviously there's a lot of implications to take into consideration here, so again, when I have any more details and want to actually bed down a really full-on plan of action, we'll kind of make an updated video on this, but I just want to give a heads up on kind of where I'm at the moment. So thanks very much. I'd be very interested to know as well in the comment section below if you have any kind of your own investment vehicles outside stocks and ETFs. I'd be very interested to know in the comment section below. So thanks again and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you all in the next video.